All right, so Mother is a Verb was the book that I started with, read the first chapter, and what I'm really taking away from this is the need to document your life. Your life is important, whether you think that it is or not. It says, it is much harder to bring mothering alive for, say, enslaved women or for Native people or for the working class of my own past. Literacy was harshly prohibited among enslaved people, meaning that we have few documents left behind in their own handwriting. North American Native groups of all kinds conveyed their cultures orally rather than in written words that were deposited. I don't know why I said deposited into archives. The working class of every race and ethnicity spent much of their waking hours simply getting by. So there's no history. And do you understand? I know we take present day because we live in modern society. We're like, who cares? If nothing more, our ancestors care, our grandchildren's grandchildren care. So my takeaway from Mother is a Verb, chapter 1, is please document your time here. You're important. Book number 2, The Business Owner's Guide to Financial Freedom. All right. This book, my takeaway from chapter 1 is you have to diversify. It said the mindset, the pros of the mindset and the cons of the mindset. It says kryptonite traits of entrepreneurs might include thinking that cash flow, while rarely steady, will work itself out even with the ups and downs. The demand for my product, service, or industry will always be there. I should reinvest every dime I can back into my business because I am my best investment. I'll be able to retire on my business. A lot of these hit home, especially with my husband being an entrepreneur and business owner in the climate that we're in, him being a barber and his clientele all but drying up, and him sticking to it instead of finding other ways. And I get it, he worked so hard to achieve what he's achieved and to able to pivot, so going into your entrepreneurial pursuits, regardless of your age, and knowing that you're going to have to pivot in an ever-changing world. At some point, you're going to have to pivot. It's not if, it's when, and having the ability to do so. I know that I've never consistently kept a job. I don't like work. I don't like people. So I don't like working for people, so say that with love. But I've never been able to consistently keep a job. My longest running job was with a particular company for 8 years. That is the longest I've had a job, and that was from 18 to when I left to go into graduate school. So I never saw my mother go to work. I believe I went with her to work once. I think she worked at the NCO club on base, and she was a bartender. I think, because I remember sitting at the bar eating Marciano cherries or whatever those cherries are, and she was behind the bar. So I believe that is the one time I seen my mom go to work. My father is retired military, so he did go to work, but then he was medically discharged, or on it, I don't know, he was discharged. And so from maybe 6 or 7, because I moved with my dad at 6, so probably from 7 we moved to Colorado. I don't know, between 6 and 8 my father was in retirement. So from 6 to 8 I never really seen my dad go to work, so, and my dad, I know now, was in what we would call a depressed state. I can see he almost died, go from this big roaring man to, I can see. So, yeah, my dad never seen really go to work. My mom never seen go to work. And so here I am struggling to keep a job, and I'm just like, well, where does this come from? And a part of me feels and part of me knows that I came here for a purpose, to do some work. And I have an entrepreneurial spirit because I've always created and crafted and said, these are the character traits of an entrepreneur, which I greatly identify. But in the beginning, it said, if you identify as an entrepreneur, you probably had a lemonade stand and da 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 da. I was like, no, I didn't have none of that shit. But I was always creating stuff. But it said, common traits: dreaming big, loving what they do, an extraordinary drive compared to others, having determination and never give up attitude, believing that their business is going to make them rich. I had to work for all of those things. Those of you who have been on this ride with me know I had to develop a never quit spirit. Like, I'm done quitting on myself. So regardless of outcomes or whatever, I'm done quitting on myself, So there's a lot of behaviors here. Where do I sit? Am I an entrepreneur, or am I someone who just don't fuck with people? And I know that I came to this earth to do work, and I know the work that I came to do can make me rich. I'm saying it because it's in the book, right? My entrepreneurial pursuits can make me rich. So yeah, I know that. And so why would I do anything else but what I came to this earth to do? And why would what I came to this earth to do not align with the desires of my heart, which is wealth, generational wealth. And not only generational wealth for me, but generational wealth for others. Tapping into that divinity. And it doesn't have to be wealth. It can be a wealth in community, a wealth in spirit, a wealth in all these different areas that we can tap into each other and create our own networks. So I believe it's possible. I don't know how it's possible, especially with so many of you guys having crab in the barrel mentality and don't even realize you have it, unwilling to show up for yourself and others, and just waiting for other people to take the first step. Well, if everybody's waiting for somebody to take the first step, no steps are being taken. So that is the takeaway from The Business Owner's Guide to Financial Freedom.